Welcome to Aviation Careers Podcast. My name is Carl Valeri, and if you're wondering what you should do in 2024, as the airlines start to slow down their hiring, we have 12 items that you can do, action items that'll help you move forward in your career and also make you more competitive during this slowdown in 2024. As many airlines have announced, they're going to hire less people. Let's understand that the hiring is not completely going away like some people think. It's just slowing down to a kind of a more normal level. So remember, this is a hiring slowdown, kind of leveling off, as some people say, but nobody can really predict the future. We do see that there's been many reports of like the cargo operations and certain passenger operations that are slowing to halt on their hiring in general, or they're hiring or asking people to go on leaves of absence. So what can you do to make yourself more competitive? I'm going to give you 12 action items. But first, if you have any questions, comments, or there's something in here you have a question about, go to feedback at aviationcareerspodcast.com. You can also go to our contact page and get information on there as to how to send in a question, etc. If you want to come on the show, we'd love to have you also. You can find out there, more there, or you can go to be a guest. It's on the side of the screen there. A lot of people, they always ask, where can I get one of those free scholarships guides? Aviationcareerspodcast.com, pay it forward, click on there. It'll tell you how to do that. The new 2024 edition is out. It's in the Amazon bookstore. It's also out there on our website as a downloadable PDF. That's the one we update every month. People ask me in the Amazon bookstore, is it most current? Yes, it's most current up to the date that you actually purchase it. So go check it out. We have a new section that we're putting in there shortly about the cadet programs that they have out there. So let's get started. And don't forget, if you have any questions like from our previous videos, put them in the comments also, not just at feedback. That really it helps a lot of other people too, because I like to actually answer those comments online on the YouTube channel. So first of all, how do you prepare for this upcoming slowdown in hiring in 2024? Number one, keep flying. You know, this is one of those things that I see many people forget to do, is to actually keep flying. You need to keep flying. You need to be building hours. Because remember this, and this happens every time. It's going to happen again during this slowdown. It happens. I've been doing this for over 20 years and helping people, coaching them through our career coaching services. Well, what happens is this. They quit flying because there's a slowdown. And they're like, well, we'll just wait till things get better. Well, what happens is there's other people who don't quit flying. So therefore, those are the people that are going to get hired first because of the fact that they kept flying during this downturn. So make sure you keep flying. And how does this work out? Let's do some simple math. Say you have 1,200 hours, there's a downturn, and you decide to quit flying. You'll pick it up later. And then the other person, your friend, keeps flying. They wind up, when the hiring picks up again, they wind up having 3,000 hours. You still have 1,200 hours. Probably going to take the person with more hours. So something that you really need to look at when you're actually going forward in your career is make sure you keep flying. Flight hours, flight hours, flight hours. That's really important. So that's number one, keep flying. Number two, obtain additional pilot certificates. Obviously, you can use the scholarships guide to do that. The scholarships guide is for everybody. It's not just people in college and young people. It's for everybody out there. There's something for everyone. That's over 1,400 pages, over $120 million in scholarships. But obtain those pilot certificates through whatever means you can. It could be that you're a flight instructor, a CFI, and you don't have your instrument instructor certificate. Well, go ahead and get your instrument instructor certificate. Maybe you're a CFI and maybe you go get your AGI, Advanced Ground Instructor Certificate. That'll help you get your gold seal. Those are the type of things that I want you to do is actually add to your ratings. Get your multi-engine commercial, multi-engine instructor rating. Just continually add to those pilot certificates. So that's number two, get additional pilot certificates. Number three is attend job fairs, and that includes air shows. Remember, a lot of these air shows will have like a jobs tent. One of the last air shows I went to, the Florida International Air Show, who was it? Allegiant Airlines, they had a tent there, and they were taking resumes and talking to people. It was really, really interesting to discuss their jobs at that airline. One of the best job fairs out there, obviously, is Women in Aviation. And at those job fairs, they allow you to go out and talk individually with those recruiters, which you probably couldn't do otherwise. And you get some real inspiration from people that are actually there at the airline. Get some really good inside knowledge too. Talk to them. What's it like to fly at your airline? Those type of things. So make sure you attend the job fairs, including air shows. By the way, Sun and Fun's a good example. We're going to be at Sun and Fun in Hangar A. Come visit us and talk to us about jobs, etc. But also they have a career fair, and a lot of the different airlines that are recruiting are down there at the career fair. So go check them out. I'll probably do a talk like I did last time at one of the career fair events. So make sure you attend those job fairs. One of my favorites is, and they're all terrific, by the way, is Women in Aviation, WAI.org. They have one of the best job fairs out there. Go check them out. You don't have to be a female to join. Anybody can join. They have a big tent. So I really highly encourage you to join Women in Aviation. I'm a member, and I think it's a great, great organization. Some of the best job fairs out there. So number 3, again, is attend job fairs. Number 4, and this is one of the things that we talked about before, is obtain more ratings. And some of those ratings, say it's, just like we talked about dish and pilot certificates, maybe get your instrument rating, that type of thing. Go out there and obtain other ratings, things like maybe go out and do your drone license, etc. So those are the type of things that I'm talking about. Obtain ratings, go get your if you want your ATP. I know the airlines are paying for that, but if you have the time and the money, that's something else to look at as far as the ratings are concerned. Get your seaplane rating. That's a lot of fun too. So go out there and do that. So number 4, obtain more ratings. That's kind of similar to the other one, the pilot certificates, just kind of making a little bit of a distinction there as far as ratings are concerned. Number 5 is build your resume. Of course, we have that pilot resume in 5 simple steps. It's a course that we have online. I think it's only $10. You can check it out on our courses on aviationcareerspodcast.com. But we have a very simple resume that we've put together as a sample. You can download and maybe copy that if you like, and some of the information on there. But it tells you how to make a resume in 5 simple steps, because it helps to have a resume. I know a lot of people in the past have said, I don't need a resume. I get hired without a resume. Well, nowadays it's getting a little more competitive. Make sure you have a resume, and make sure you can load that online and send it to somebody. Send it as a PDF, send it as a Word document. Make sure it's available in all different formats. Printable is really cool too. Some people I've seen, what they'll do is have a business card with a QR code, and it'll actually have a link to their resume. So make sure you keep doing that. So build your resume. Number 6 is continuing your education. Well, continuing education is both maybe through college, university, but continue your education. What do I mean by that? It's a little more nuanced than that. It's continue learning. A good pilot is always constantly learning. I'm an instructor in the Airbus A320, and I'm constantly reading and learning more and more about the airplane that I fly. And I'm always delving into the FAR aim and that type of thing. So that's really what I'm talking about. Continue your education. It's not just about degrees. It's about getting more knowledge. And knowledge is power, especially in this industry. It'll make you a better pilot, a safer pilot, and somebody who'll be more competitive when you go for that job and interview. So definitely continue your education. So that's number 6, continue your education. Number 7, join professional organizations. Professional organizations, National Business Aviation Association, Women in Aviation. There's many different organizations out there. The National Association of Flight Instructors, the National Association Flight Training Alliance. There's all sorts of great organizations out there that you can join. These are all professional organizations. Aviation maintainers organizations, technicians. Those are really good because there's other people in that organization that are just as serious about jobs as you are, and they can give some great advice. But it's one of those things where it's an incredible networking environment. So that's number 7, join professional organizations, which leads me to number 8, and that's networking. Network. By joining a professional organization, that's one way of networking. Join and get involved in local organizations. They don't have to be aviation. They can be aviation related. Get involved in your airport board. Go to those meetings. Anything that you can do to get outside and talk aviation is a great idea. Also, another thing you can do is wear shirts, t-shirts, like I have on my Aviation Careers podcast shirt. Wear shirts that have something to do with aviation. Maybe it's the flight school you work with, because a lot of times that strikes up a conversation. aviation. Can't tell you how many times having an airplane on my t-shirt brought me into a conversation about aviation, and it's actually turned into a job. And you can do that just by going out there and wearing your shirt, getting involved in organizations. Make sure you agree with that organization. Don't just to join the organization just for the networking, but get out there and maybe it's something that will stretch your knowledge. So join those organizations that maybe you have some input that might help them. Airport organizations, go a local civic organization. There's so many things that you can do, and you'd be surprised how many people are involved in that organization, and they have an interest in aviation, and you can spur that interest and possibly either get a new client or possibly have a person that can actually put you in touch with somebody who's interested in either flying or maybe involved in hiring at an airline or a corporate department. It really, really is about networking. So network. You heard me say that a million times. Number 9, and we're probably going to do a video about this, but number 9 is build an aviation-focused LinkedIn profile. Now, this you have to be careful about, especially if you're a career changer, which we have a lot of people that listen that are actually career changers. Well, when you build your LinkedIn profile and you're somebody who has a job and you don't want to let on that you're moving into another career, it's okay to put down that you're a pilot and you have a pilot certificate. I think that actually shows that you're a very well-rounded individual and you've accomplished something that most people haven't accomplished. And it says a lot about you. And remember, in aviation, a lot of those things that we learn in getting our pilot certificate actually apply to our business life. And it's, making a plan and then making a contingency plan, following your plan, what to do in case of emergencies. It's really good as far as managing a situation like this airplane, and possibly you fly with a lot of different people, might be managing other people. So it does help in your business life. So building an aviation-focused LinkedIn profile, like I said, I probably should do a video about that. And those are the items on that LinkedIn profile. And by the way, I use the LinkedIn profiles a lot when I'm looking at somebody as far as hiring. And if you have all the certificates that are on there that are required for the job, it really makes it easier for the person that's doing the hiring to see that. Also, something else a lot of people don't realize is in LinkedIn, there's a profile that you can download, and that profile almost looks like a resume. So a lot of times that's what I do is I pull down their profile as a PDF, puts it almost like a format like a resume, and it gives me the opportunity to see, okay, do you have your restricted radio telephone operator's permit? Those kind of things that I can find out there. So make sure you do that. Get out there, build your LinkedIn profile. Number 10, and this is something I think is really important, is find an aviation career coach. And I know that's something that we do at aviationcareerspodcasting.com/coaching. But if you have somebody who's maybe not necessarily someone like myself who's been doing this for a couple decades, but somebody that maybe they have a lot of knowledge in the industry of hiring within aviation, use them, call them, say, hey, listen, I'd like you to be my mentor. I'd like you to be my coach as far as my aviation career is concerned. And I'd be willing to pay you. And that's what we do here. We basically, the reason that people pay us to be an aviation career coach is we give you an unbiased opinion. We also set forth a plan with items that you must accomplish to move forward in your career. So I do highly recommend, if you're confused by all that's going on, or if you want to stand out in this environment, this slowdown in hiring, make sure you hire an aviation career coach. Number 11 is complete your degree. Now, this is somewhat the same as we talked about continue your education. Well, education is more than just your degree, but make sure you get out there and complete those degrees that you haven't completed. Say you have your associates and you're working on your bachelor's. Continue doing that, because when the hiring environment gets a little tighter, like it is now, we can now hire people that have more of the requirements that like we used to have. For instance, we might say, okay, you need to have 3,000 hours instead of just 1,500 hours or 1,250, whatever it may be. We also may say, okay, now we're going to hire only people with the college degree. Now, know this, even though on the website it says that you don't need a college degree, but if we bring in all these resumes and those resumes have 50% have a college degree, 50% don't, have equal backgrounds, we're probably going to take the person with the college degree. It's just one way of distinguishing between the people with and without the college degree. I personally feel the most important thing is you're flying past, but when it's really tough to distinguish between two people, having that college degree helps. And by the way, in the training environment, it helps. It actually helps with you when you move forward and you start studying for, say, you go to an airline. At an airline, you're constantly studying. You're constantly going through training, and you need to have good study habits. And that's one thing that college or getting a degree helps you with, is developing those study habits. And it shows that you have, if you have those degrees, especially the higher degrees. So that's one thing you can do, complete that degree. And number 12, and most importantly, is do something every day to move forward in your career. Do something each and every day. It could be something really simple. It could be just listening to videos out there. There's tons of people out on YouTube talking about aviation careers. If you're interested in getting a new rating, go out and watch all the different videos about that rating. Say you're trying to figure out what the answer is to, I don't know, what's 3585 or all the many different variants of 3585. Now that the FAA has gotten away from just using the one number. Well, what am I talking about? So those are the kind of things that I want you to do, is get out there and take a look at the answers to those questions. And that's doing something. Maybe it's researching what I just talked about in here as far as the different things that you should do as far as moving forward in your career. Well, those are the 12 things. Let's go over those real quickly one more time. Number 1, keep flying, don't stop. Number 2, obtain additional pilot certificates. Number 3, attend job fairs. Number 4, obtain more ratings. Number 5, build your resume. And go to that pilot resume in 5 simple steps. I'll have a link in the show notes. Number 6, continue your education. That's not just a formal education. That's an education learning about everything in aviation. Number 7, join professional organizations. And you can find a lot of those in our scholarships guide. Number 8, network. Get out there and network. Number 9, build an aviation-focused LinkedIn profile. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, I can help you build one. Number 10, find an aviation career coach. Of course, we do coaching here at Aviation Careers Podcast. And number 11, complete your degree. If you're in the middle of a degree, go out there and finish up that degree. And number 12, and most importantly, is do something every single day to move forward in your career. Well, I hope you found this helpful. And if you have any questions, feedback at aviationcareerspodcast.com. In the show notes, you can actually give me a question. I'll try to answer it. We have the contact page, and we usually try to get back to you as quickly as possible. Don't forget, we can help you move forward in your career. aviationcareerspodcast.com/coaching. I know it's really hard to get into my schedule, and I haven't really been pushing it because we've been so busy, but I would love to meet you and talk to you right here, either in a Zoom meeting or possibly in person. Our next event, scheduled event, is actually Sun and Fun. That's coming up in April. I'd highly recommend you going to that. We're also looking at the possibility of going to some of these other events like Women in Aviation, Flight Sim Association. Absolutely love that organization. There's so many great things out there that I talked about, and that's getting out there and doing something and finding out more. If you want to find us at Sun and Fun, by the way, we're in Hangar A. I think it's booth 41, but Hangar A, we'll be hanging out there. You can get a picture right in front of our banner here. I'd love to see you there. But again, most importantly is don't let anybody get you down just because there's this slowdown in hiring. It's we can almost call it like a leveling off. Yes, some industries are not hiring at all. They're asking people to take leaves of absence. We hear the furlough word, but in general, I think long term, this is going to be a great industry to be in. And being a pilot is growing. We're getting more airlines, we're getting more airplanes, and we've really democratized aviation by having all these different types of airlines that cater to all different types of people, which I think is terrific. But most importantly, do this for me. Take action today. Do something every day to move forward in your career and in your life. And I am confident that you will reach your aviation career goal. We'll talk to you next episode. Safe flying out there.